There we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Profiling Evil with Mike King and Chris McDonough. How you doing tonight, Chris?
Doing great, Mike. How are you?
Good to see you, and thanks everyone for joining in. I mean, Mimi J2, Manuela Costalima, and we've heard quite a bit from her. Thank you so much. Rebel Rose, Hearth and Stones. Somebody just a minute ago threw up something, Chris, and I'm going to just read off a couple more names, but somebody threw off a little note about a woman in San Diego County that was found in the back seat of a truck in an auto accident. She was a homicide victim earlier in the day, and the guy had been driving around with her dead in the back seat. And anytime I think of San Diego and I think of dead people, I think of you. So,
you know, the old motto was where the debris meets the sea. You know?
Well, thanks everybody, and I apologize. I missed who actually put that up. Tammy B, thank you so much. Denise M, Annie Lane, the middle of nowhere bear. Thank you. We loved your little comment about the note from Chad to his lawyer. Thank you, and thanks for everybody that's been supporting us so much in the last 5 weeks. Can you believe we tipped over 12,000 subscriptions today, or subscribers today, and we are just so excited and so honored and thrilled that you would continue to listen to us. Liz Todd, thank you so much for becoming a YouTube member, and man, I just don't know how to thank you all enough. It means so much to us. Curious Cat's a new member.
Shannon Burgess, thank you, Shannon. We are grateful. Crime Fighters, very grateful for all the ones you fight for. Thank you for Mama and Grove. Thank you very much. We're very. I'll tell you, Mike, I have been absolutely blown away and beyond humbled that you guys, sincerely, that you would even be here. I mean, our channel is about you and about, helping. And, we figured when, again, Maui Swift, thank you so very much.
Aloha.
Aloha. And the idea of that we would even, that you would even have the faith in us. We are grateful. We're very humbled. I mean, what's been our growth, Mike? It's been crazy.
I don't know. It's been amazing. Lori Day, new member. Thank you for joining up with us. And Suzanne Thompson, there's a name that looks familiar. It is so weird to me, Chris, but these are becoming friends, and just the chance to be able to see names that we see over and over again. Jensen, thank you. Curious Georgia, love it. $4.99. Thank you so much. Honestly, folks, it means so much, and it has given us the chance to work with our producers and knock out quality content. And I don't know if you saw this, but even just yesterday when we posted a little bit on the Daybell case, 30,000 views in less than a day. I mean, that's just phenomenal, and it's happening because of you, and we are just blown away. Tara Williams, thank you so much. And holy cow, I don't know if you saw Jackie Martinez, super sticker. Thank you.
It's crazy.
It's amazing.
And Audrey Jensen, thank you so much. We are grateful. Curious George, Maui Swift, you're Canadian. There you go. Aloha up to Canada. Hip check.
Aloha.
You're awesome. Tara Williams, new member. Thank you, Jackie.
Again, Casey, we appreciate you. Thanks for the $5. It really does make a difference, folks. And I don't know, a lot of you have jumped on the opportunity for membership. We'll just tell you it's there. But for those that can't do it, and we certainly understand, it's not going to change the fact that we're going to roll out. We're just going to try to have a little more contact with some of those in the membership side. And Patty and Pink, welcome aboard. I mean, you're going to have a kind of a blast, I hope, on this side of the fence, because we've been having a blast. And the fact that the stuff that you've been sharing with us is amazing. And we're going to share a new idea with you tonight. But Marianne and Naya from Arizona, thanks. Hi to you. And Arizona's been kind of like talked about a lot lately. So thanks for joining in. Lori Day, Marie Smith, Irish Forensics. I like that one a lot. That's just so fun. And one night we're going to put up a map, and we're going to put a web application, because our friends at Esri have made mapping capability available to us. And we're going to put up a map, and we're going to let you all sign in and show where you're dialing in from.
It's a great idea.
Everybody see in real time everybody that's weighing in throughout one of the shows. So maybe next week when we do the Valentine's murder or something like that, we can put that up. And we got to remind you, Monday night is going to be a really cool show, a really great show. If I remember my Ed Sullivan days, and we're gonna talk about a serial killer named Robert Ben Rhodes, a case that I have some intimate knowledge about. Had the chance.
Put your seatbelts on. Put your seatbelts on.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. We're gonna also involve the officer who arrested this man in the middle of one of his assaults, with a victim chained up in the back of his sleeper berth. And this is a killer who would keep victims for up to 2 weeks at a time before he would execute them. He's a serial sadist and just a horrible sex predator that we were able to put away. And maybe I'll even talk, Chris, about my really short interview with him, because that was like talking to the devil. But Audrey Jensen, thank you so much. Sprinkle Cake, you know what? We're so excited to catch in a live stream, because we've been having a blast at this, and to hear what you and others are asking, and the longer, don't you think it's amazing, the longer things where we see what thought people have put into some of their questions and the analysis that they're doing. It's amazing. Yeah.
It's been amazing. I mean, you guys, and thank you, Sprinkle Crate. We are grateful. We really are. We're blown away. I mean, we're blown away. I mean, it is. But we have an assignment tonight, Mike. We have an assignment to
get your pencils out. This one's going to be good.
Okay, crime fighters, you guys. So we all listened. So last night we had an opportunity to be on Web Sleuths, right, with Trisha last night. Had an absolutely marvelous time, and YouTube had a little technical issues, but we were talking to her, and then we were talking to Tyson earlier as well. And Tyson has, as you know, he's that guy's heart is just amazing, and as is Trisha and Linda over at It's a Crime. I mean, we're just meeting everybody, and we're like, man, these people
blown away by them.
Super great,
amazing people.
Okay, so Nick Cordova came up in Tyson's when we were over there, and we all heard that horrific 911 call from his sweet wife. Okay, the one thing we want to be very, very sensitive to on this, as Mike and I, we've seen enough tragedy in our time. And we know what's on the other side of that when you talk to those families and you get to know them and you realize that, holy smokes, okay, this is, just a horrific, horrific situation. So I made a commitment to Tyson that, that Mike and I would kind of start taking a look at what's going on over there. Okay, we got a couple of observations for you tonight, and we just started. So what we need you to do is we have a couple of things we're going to announce tonight. And what we'd like you to do is, when Mike's going to tell you about a certain room that we're putting together. And what we need you to do is go to that room if you have clues or information. And he's going to explain it here in a minute, but here's the assignment, okay? And this is going to be really, really important. We need the true crime community to take, as everybody has, take a look at that video of that guy coming through into the 7-Eleven or whatever store that is, right down the street from where Nick Cordova was shot. Okay.
And do we have that link, Chris, that we can put up?
I don't have it right in front of me, but I'll certainly pull it up here in a minute, Mike.
We'll find it, and if Tyson happens to be listening, maybe he can plug it in for us.
Okay. And so here's the deal. Today I had a guy over at my house. He was tuning up my HVAC, my air conditioning system. And I said, "Hey, come here for a minute, buddy." His name is Brett, just a great guy. Okay. I said, "I want to show you a video." And didn't tee it up. I didn't tell him anything. And I pressed play. I said, "This guy, they think killed another guy a couple of blocks away." And almost immediately he goes like this, and he looks at the video and he goes, "Oh, well, hey, that guy's got mastic on his shirt." I said, "Where do you see that?" Right? Like, and he goes,
awesome.
"Right there." And there's a little white spot on his shirt. Okay. So I asked him, I said, "Tell me about mastic." Okay. Remember the whys, not the hows. Okay. Why would somebody have this on their shirt? Okay. And he goes, "Well, that is what they use around the ducts when you're in the attics." Okay. And you have to seal it. Okay. I said, "Perfect. Great. What else can you tell me?" So I listened to one of the videos, and R22 came up in one of the conversations.
Aha, yeah.
Okay. So R22 is a freon that was phased out in the construction industry in 2008. Okay. And so that means there's a new freon that came in that FDA or EPA required, and that's called R410A. Okay. So there was information out there that R22, okay, is an older freon. Okay. Well, when I heard Nick's wife in the video with Tyson again, okay, she mentioned something about R22. Okay. Right now, I don't know what that is. Mike, I mean, do you remember what any of that stuff is?
Not how it applies, no.
Yeah. So here's what we need you to do. Okay. We have the picture of this guy, and everybody's saying, "Who is this guy? Who is this guy?" Okay. Go to the internet, go to Google, okay. Google every single HVAC company in a geographic region in the Arizona area where Nick's life was taken, and look at their team photos. Okay. Most of the time, those types of service companies put the entire team, out in front of the truck, and they do this big team picture, and then they post it, on their websites. Well, the algorithm in Google, if you go to the images, will put all of those team pictures up. I'm hoping, dimes to donuts, okay, that this community can prove the power of what we're trying to do here. And somebody's going to see this guy in one of those photos if he's in that environment. So that's the assignment.
So I'm just reading about it. Chlorodifluoromethane. So it's a methane gas substance that obviously is used in the process to help in the cooling system, like you'd put Freon in your car, but it's for your home HVAC, I assume, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. This is awesome. So Tasha McGregor, thanks. I think it's a pretty amazing assignment too, and I can't wait to see what people come up with. I want to call out Shannon Burgess Whittle. I'm sorry, Shannon.
There he is.
Man, we do appreciate everybody that fights for goodness.
So see where the shadow's coming in, Mike? You see where the shadow ends? Just down at the bottom, there's a little white spot.
Just next to the Happy Meal.
That's what Brett spotted. He said, "Oh, well, this guy's in the HVAC business," and he says he's got a little mastic spot there. I went,
You say, yeah. Well, who didn't notice that? But what's the importance of it?
Hey, Tyson, great seeing you. Woo-hoo. Tyson's in the house. Okay,
Oh,
Next
good.
piece.
Let's
What do
have
you think
Tyson.
about Lori?
Hey, Tyson, text Tyler the location of that video so we can get it out to everybody, please. That'd be awesome. It's great to have Tyson Draper with us, and what fun it was last night to be on your show, Tyson. Thanks to what you and Dusty do.
Yep. So, Mike, what do you think? Lori.
Man, today was a big day, folks, wasn't it? I don't know how many of you expected that curveball. We kind of did, just because the defense team for Lori got to see what Chad's defense team put up with, and it was going to be a very similar story. I wasn't surprised, Chris, but I was kind of sorry we weren't going to get to see a little more information that we could dig in with.
Yeah, no, she was hiding behind that mask today, and good news for the kids, right? It's good news for our for the children.
Yeah.
And,
her voice seemed a little weaker to me today, Chris. I don't know if you picked up on that. And Melanie Dance, thanks a lot. And Jen Winkler, man, I just love when I see my friends from Australia, because I just have spent so many weeks and months in Oz. So thank you. But yeah, I thought her voice was a little weak when she was on there, almost with a little bit of quiver in it. Did you pick up on that?
Yeah, I think she's scared. I think she sees it coming, and a lot of our people are seeing it. A lot of people are seeing it, and she did sound scared. I'm reading through some of the. Please look up the Canadian story. Hang on, let me get that back.
While you're doing that, I'm just going to mention too. This really puts the playing cards in favor of the prosecution, and hopefully that they can turn one of those two against the other to get the truth to come out. And I would think that they're probably both really examining if they could make a deal. But let's take a minute and talk about this criminal justice process for those who might not understand it. So what happens when a person is arrested? They have this opportunity for a first appearance that's called the arraignment. And in that arraignment is where they formally face the criminal charges that are against them. It's where the state says, here's what we think you did wrong, and give them an opportunity to plead guilty or not guilty. They can even plead no contest, which we see periodically. But once that occurs, Chris, then the next step in the process is to go to a preliminary hearing. And that's what we were supposed to be seeing today. And as we saw today, the defendant can choose to waive that preliminary hearing. And when there are co-defendants in a case, it's usually the first one that goes that ends up running through the process. And knowing that you're a co-defendant and knowing that much of the evidence is going to be very similar in nature, it gives them a way to start deciding. One of the things that I think is really important in this, and by the way, Michelle Carano, thank you so much.
Well, she's got a question. Do we think Lori's ready to roll on Chad? That is a great question. That's a great question. What do you think, Mike?
So I think that what's happening is the bigger question is, are either of them ready to roll on the other one? Because to me, it's a game of chicken right now to see who's gonna pull the trigger first. For lack of that's probably a really bad analogy in this case, but one of them is going to pull the trigger and become state's evidence. Yeah.
Remember the bat, guys? Remember the bat the other night, right?
Yeah.
Oh, she was able to watch Chad during his preliminary. Yes, probably. Yeah. If I were her, that's a great thought though, Trish, because if I were her attorney, I would be sitting right next to her with a laptop and saying, or at least put it in the room, and then, with COVID, have to be on the other side of the planet, but say, press play and say, watch what he's saying about you.
Yeah, good point.
There's some of that going on.
Well, so anyway, another part of this that happened today that I thought was really intriguing too is it could boil down to money, Chris. Attorneys are expensive, and it may have been that they also looked and said, do I spend a batch more money for 2 days of my legal counsel's time or do I save that 2 days for investigation and prepping for the next stage, which is the hearing and the trial? And she'll have an opportunity to again enter a plea as this moves up to the Superior Court, and then she'll go to trial, as will Chad go to trial now because he's been bound over as well. But I think money's playing a little bit of a play into this too. You see it all the time when people just have to wait. This is how much I have to get me through a trial. So that's my thoughts anyway on it.
That's good. That's great. That's a really important point, Mike. Really important point. Hey, so Arlene McMahon she says, please look up this Canadian story, Russell Williams. Okay, I just took a note, Arlene, and we'll do a little searching up on it here. Lorna Dune says, could it be spackle for drywall? Absolutely. It could be anything right now. We have a white spot on the shirt. So.
Yeah, it could be bad bleach. Could have done a bad job on doing what I always do, and that's putting the darks with the whites. So you never know when these things come, and that's why it always goes back to why is that there, not just the fact that it's there. Dee Dee, thanks so much for the $5. It really means a lot. I think Chad will throw it on Lori, say he didn't know the bodies were in the yard, and that the tapes were worse for Lori. That's really interesting. I think he's going to have a hard hill to climb to say didn't know the bodies were in the yard. But
Christy, good observation. Our lawyer stated waiver was signed on the 17th. Yeah, she put her seatbelt on early, didn't she? That gives us a little indication as to who potentially could pull the trigger first to that earlier question. She could be that person. Let's see. I think Chad will throw it on Lori, say he didn't know the bodies were in the yard. The tapes were worse for Lori. Yeah, that's a possibility. Sod, remember? Some other dude. So it's.
So I have another assignment for our listeners, Chris, that I'd like them to chase. Sprinkle cake. Thanks again. $10. That's amazing.
Thanks for the Gilbert assignment.
We're looking forward to seeing what you come up with. That. Please keep your pencil sharp because here's the next assignment.
Thank you.
And this one really bugged Chris and I the other night. We're going to just turn you loose and let you see what you come up with. There were 3 white rocks recovered when JJ and Ty Lee were dug up.
Good.
And, there's not a lot that's been talked about by that. But as Chris and I were going through a bunch of things and trying to theorize on the old ancient Jewish feelings, which is when you think about Jewish beliefs and systems, this is Old Testament stuff. And there were lots of traditions that talked about the value of rock placed. There are practical reasons for rock, Chris, as we've seen in bodies that have been buried. Sometimes it's just to keep animals from digging the body up. And in this case, I think, it makes an interesting twist to it that we have someone who understands the challenges of burying things. And frankly, they've been living up in an area where they have a pet cemetery, so they probably have had some things dug up. And maybe if we get a minute, I can tell you a story of my friend who had a problem with a similar kind of thing. But we also found an image from Tammy Daybell.
Wait a minute, Barb Nauman. This is unbelievable. Thank you so very much. This is crazy. You'll see it here in a second.
Barb, thank you so
Barb,
much.
thank you. I'm sorry, I didn't. That was just kind of unexpected. And guys, just we are so grateful. Also, always remember though, you're going to be welcome here at any time. We recognize the widow's mite as well. Okay? And Mike, we've got Underground Railroad coming up, and what are we going to do that with all of that with those guys, right?
Yeah. So everything we get on that night, we're going to push over to Underground Railroad to try to help in human trafficking. So we hope you're marking down on your calendar August 20th. to be with us at 7 p.m. Mountain Time to do this. I want to finish up my thought. And then
she took my breath away. Sorry, Mike.
Yeah. I want to go back to something really important right now. So let me kind of recap. And again, Barb, thank you so much, Barb Nauman. That's just amazing.
South Africa.
Thank you so much. And I want you to email me and let me know which part of South Africa, because I've been there and for work, and had a son who lived in Cape Town. And
3 o'clock in the morning, she's up.
Yeah, it's great. Darnell, oh man, thank you so much, Darnell Burnell. Thank you, or Darlene Burnell. Thank you so much for that. And Hishay, holy cow. Do they have access to the internet? Not in jail. They're not going to have access to the internet. And that's why, when Chris said they were probably watching, it probably would have to have been that they were pulled out to a special room where a defense attorney could sit with her and watch that. Or she caught it on the 6 o'clock news, because they certainly didn't pull back on what was going on. So yeah, thanks a lot, Hishay. But let me go back to this 3 rocks. I want you to think about that. I want you to do some digging. And then I want you to think about, there's a photograph of Tammy Daybell's grave. And around that grave, when it's still fresh cut dirt, there's no lawn on it, hasn't been covered with sod yet, there are 6 bags that have luminaries in them. I'm assuming luminaries, Chris. But the way that they were placed is really interesting. Maybe nothing, but we wanted to know if any of you have read any of Chad's books, and if there's any indication of significance about white bags or rocks in relationships to graves. And we think that might be really interesting. So Michelle Modis, it's great to see you again. Thank you so much. The questions prior kept going on about Alex and Lori being so close. Wasn't it interesting how Pryor wanted to get rid of any evidence that had to do with the phone until he heard about Alex, and that was okay in his mind. I think was that you can see us.
I think he's setting it up as incest. Yeah.
And Nancy Harris, thank you so much. Anxious to see Tammy's report. Yeah, but thank you so much. And
what a defense, though, Mike. On that, what happens with Charles Jeep after he was killed? Any idea where it's now? It's typically impounded, and it's sitting in a tow yard somewhere. If the PD thought it was connected to the Boudreaux shooting,
yeah,
it's sitting in a tow yard right now, or an evidence facility. We had a giant warehouse that we could just pack stuff in until it was ready. So interesting incest concept here, though, right? I mean, it sounds like they're setting it up that Lori was, she's going to be the victim. Hey?
Yeah, this will be interesting. Yeah,
to see where it's going to go.
Alicat, thank you. We found Melanie's testimony to be really interesting too. What I really found interesting was Melanie's after court photo op with the news. And if you haven't watched her sitting out on front of the courthouse talking, I almost felt like that was damage control in an attempt to say, look how much I've tried to do, and I've known all along. It's okay to be duped. And I think the truth will come out on that. But Chris, now is the perfect time. We've given
Alley Cat
to you folks. Yeah,
I think Melanie was the only witness, the only one prior to so ruthlessly disrespected. Interesting. What? Yeah. Tell us give us another follow up to that line. Why do you think like that? Put that in the chat over here, and thank you so very much. That's an interesting thought. Okay, Mike, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's great. So, folks, I want to pull up something that we're really excited about, and invite you all to take advantage of it. If you go to profilingevil.com/evidence room, one word, we've rolled out, starting right now, a place. Thank you so much for sending the emails direct to me, but it started getting unmanageable. And we were so afraid that we were going to lose something that was really important that we decided to set up this evidence room. And Circa 3, Tyler and Tim and Casey took care of this for us. What you're going to have when you go into there is a place where you can enter information. It's optional if you want to give your name or not. And we are collecting your email, but that only helps us to communicate with you. And again, we're going to use your email from time to time to reach out to you, but we're not going to give this to anybody else. We want to make sure you know that. But then we're going to give you the chance to go in and talk about an open investigation, something that's live and going on, or something that's closed and cold. And we're going to give you a chance to go in and pick some cases as we start seeing some of these big cases come up, like the Vallows or Suzanne Morphew or Delphi. And we'll give you a chance to click on and say, hey, I got some information in regards to this particular case. Here's the link. And within a day or two, we'll have a link in there where you can actually upload a file. But until then, if it's something other than a link, just put in your description area that you got a big file and you need help in getting that uploaded, and we'll upload it into the system. That'll give Chris and me the ability to take that information and start to coalesce it and look through it. And we can use that as we try to profile and look at some of these cases. But I want to mention, Chris, that if you for any reason believe that the information you have has to get to law enforcement immediately, this isn't the place to deliver that. Call the local police department or the agency that's handling that case and get the information into the case agent's hand. Otherwise, we're going to package all this up and representing you and this huge community that's building, we're going to give that to the police department and say, hey, the Profiling Evil team has collected this and we just wanted to give it to you. Use it as you may. And hopefully it will be something that really helps them out. So I'd like to just take a minute and answer some questions, Chris, and see how people are feeling about that.
And we got JoJo, Maxine, welcome. We're welcome to the PE family. We're grateful for that, for you being here, and just everybody. We're just grateful for everybody. I mean, just, we really can make a difference. I mean, Mike and I have believed this, that, we've got some things coming up. Let's talk about Valentine next week, Mike. I mean, you just kind of sit it out.
Right. Let me call out a couple of people, though, that really stepped up. Summer Dawn, thank you so much for the contribution. I think, like you do, that his books might be part of what his confession is. That's really awesome, and thank you so much for what you've done for us there. And Curious Georgia, again, thank you again. Everybody has been watching this thing, and this is really fun to see starting to heat up. And then Luna, $2 for, she has a question. Are authorities able to view neighbors' door cams? Yes, in two circumstances: consent and a search warrant. If the owner says, no, you can't do it, then they have to go get a search warrant. And that's they have to serve the search warrant. Yeah, and there's a new system in place for people that have Ring doorbells. They have now made a server available so that families that opt into Ring doorbells, if you've used them, and we love to have them as part of our family here because they do such a great work with law enforcement. But you can opt in and make your information on your Ring doorbell available to law enforcement, and law enforcement would reach out on a geographic nature and say, hey, anybody in this neighborhood, do you have anything? And then they can access that, which is a really cool program that people are going pretty wild for, and it's free of charge to law enforcement to access that. So it's not a service that your local agency is going to have to pay for. So Natman asked Mike, or makes a comment here, spotlight on Evansdale and Delphi murders, if possible. Thank you. Absolutely. Mike and I have got something cooking. We don't want to put it out just yet because we're still, working on a couple of things, but Delphi is on our radar. As Evansdale, I'm going to write that one down tonight as well. And please, Nat and everyone else, put these in the evidence room, and we can use them as suggestions to go after. So, JoJo, welcome aboard. It's great to have you here. Tiger Lily, could the rocks have been used to shape the ground more normally and prevent sinking? Absolutely. We have to not only think, is there something that's a signature like the rock is placed in one corner with a point in, a 360-degree angle, that becomes a signature aspect of what's going on. Sometimes it just makes perfect sense that you got to do that to keep the ground from collapsing. So that becomes a real challenge, is figuring that out. The thing that bugged Chris and me was the fact that when we saw this picture of the luminaries, white sacks positioned on the grave, I don't know, there's zombies. There's 6 on each side. And so I don't know. It might be a wild goose chase, but I spent half my career on a wild goose chase.
And welcome everybody who's just getting here. We're grateful that you're here. And so one of the assignments we have, you'll see it in the chat here. But hopefully, if you have any questions, just shoot them up to us. We're still learning. We appreciate everybody's patience. I know I don't pronounce my words correctly. I love you. Thank you. I've lived with it all my life. And just ask my wife. But I appreciate your patience very much, and your kindness. Mike and I think, we've been blown away. We really have. And you guys have just been, so fun. Yeah. It's been a lot of fun. And so hopefully we don't disappoint you guys. And we're just learning how to read all the questions, and we talk.
I got a good one here, Chris.
Yeah, hit me.
Amanda just wrote, she was raised around cemeteries, and she was always told that a rock was placed on a grave from a visitor. Someone places a stone and it sends a note saying, "I remember you." Now, Amanda, what I'd like to do is see if that same significance exists if it's a few inches under the soil. Because I think if I read everything right, the soil came off, then rocks, and then a layer of wood, and then, of course, the bodies in the tomb, which was just a dirt wall tomb. But that's a great tip, and I think we need to look into that.
So Adriana has a question. Mike says, "Hi, why do you all think Lori waived the prelim hearing? Chad was a grave digger, but wasn't smart enough to properly bury and put them 6 feet below." What do you think, Mike?
I think that's a great question. Now, the interesting thing is, did he do it with a tractor or did he do it with a shovel? And I don't know that we have that information available. Maybe some of you might have that and can share it. I think in part, that's why they had to go to the extent of putting wood and then rock to keep the predation from happening, and to keep that ground from sinking down where you might not have that problem. Also, the fact that, think about when you were a kid and you did something wrong, or you were playing. In fact, I just think back when I remember when we were playing cops and robbers or army. If something went wrong, somebody would always yell out do-overs. And criminals go through that same process of wanting a do-over. And so sometimes it's like, how do I just get rid of this and get everything taken care of? I don't know if that's the answer, but that's the way that I've often looked at these and thought about the behavior that's behind the scenes on something like this. So I hope that helps. I don't know.
We got some new members, Mike. Deb Lena, thank you for jumping on board here in the PE family. We're grateful to have you here tonight. Jim Cat, thank you so much. It's going to be a pleasure to get to know you guys. We appreciate everybody pressing that subscribe and the bell thing that we're learning about, and sharing it with your friends. Our goal is, I think we're going to try to hit 50,000 in the next couple of weeks. I think we can do it. I really do. I know you're laughing, but I think we could do it. I really do. I think we can show some really cool stuff, especially if we get this HVAC guy. Okay. It's going to be, game changer. It's going to be game changer. Okay. What else we got here? I'm making a calendar of events for their things coming up. It was snowing in October. My grandkids were supposed to be okay. upset. They both make so easy. Thank you. You guys are awesome. 50K in a few.
Daffodil, thanks for calling me out. I hope that resonated with you, the cops and robbers in the Army and the do-overs. That's great. Flyer B, you did have a question. How long does the DA have to present the evidence to the defense for both Chad and Lori? Does the defense have to provide anything to the DA? There's a thing called discovery where people have to share the evidence that they're going to present. It still leaves a window open where you can surprise somebody with something that came in the 11th hour. But there's a very established process. And we want that to happen because we want both sides prepared and to be able to argue it again, like we've said before, so that they can't use that in an appeal process somewhere down the road. If they go to trial and they need months to put on their case, that's what they can ask for. And then they can argue with the judge to see if they'll clear months down the road. But they have a formula and they'll figure out how many days are going to be needed to present the evidence. And then they usually try to stick into that. But if things go long, they'll just continue the case. And think about those poor jurors that get called on some of these huge cases like this one could be. That $14 a day doesn't go very far as a juror fee, and they have to step away from their jobs to do that. So thanks for that question.
What do you think of Chad's attorney criminal record? Book him. That's what I think. Book him. In terms of if he's done something wrong, he'll be investigated, and hopefully, if he falls into the category, then they can share a meal together. Elsie,
so he has been cleared, though, right? I mean, he's settled that.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't either. And we've tried to kind of stay away from the fray on that, but I like what Chris is saying. I mean, there should be accountability when we make poor choices, and sometimes that accountability is really uncomfortable. But
yeah. So we've got Elsie, the fam says, she makes an interesting observation, Mike. She goes, rocks. Jews believe that placing stones on a grave would keep the soul down in the world. Also, interpretation suggests that the stones will keep demons and ghouls from getting into the graves. With all this, this hocus pocus out there, that's a good point. But we want to kind of figure out, those three rocks that are sitting there on top. I mean, there's a whole bunch of theories that could be connected to that. And that, quite frankly, could be one of them. There's no question about that. So, always remember, ask the why, and then the how will show itself.
Yeah, isn't that a great comment, though, given the zombie talk and everything else? If they could keep that zombie locked in the ground by putting rocks on superstitiously. And these people believed in a lot of voodoo and a lot of weird stuff. So, yeah, that's not a far jump.
Yeah, definitely. So we've got a lot of chatter here about Morphew. Suzanne. Well, what do you think, guys? Where are we at here? Mike and I haven't left the house. We've been there, 4 weeks now. And, we've asked an invitation for Barry to come to a safe place with us to talk a little bit. Their anniversary has passed Wednesday. We have not left the house yet. Val, Bonzer SoCal in the house. Nice to see you. So we haven't left. Mike, what do you think?
No, I'll tell you, that's one. We had great hopes that yesterday that the sheriff's office and the family, extended family of Suzanne, the husband and others would step up and raise awareness about this woman, given the fact that it was the 26th anniversary of their wedding. They remained silent. That's been a pattern that we've seen over and over again. We've had discussion about the fact that that's different than other families have done in missing person cases. But that doesn't mean that anybody's guilty. That just means that that's the strategy they've taken. We hoped that on that anniversary date, we might see a little softening maybe a suspect who leaves a tip on a telephone recorder or something like that. But it just didn't happen. Great to have somebody from Europe, I'm assuming, calling in. Vicky Reed, thank you so much. Don't know where you're from, but welcome. It's great to have you. I would assume from what I'm looking at anyway that you're
and Anna Pena, thank you for coming to our house and the PE family. We're grateful that you're here. We don't consider this a channel, by the way. We consider this our house. We just feel like we're just sitting on our couches here for, and we're just hoping that we can just share experiences in life with you. This has been such a blessing for when Mike called me, and as I said to him, I said, buddy, you better reconsider this whole concept in terms of, I'll lower your property values. But we've got such great friendship. I mean, I have to tell you, I've known this man a very long time. What you see, folks, is what you get. This man is probably not only one of the smartest guys I know, but he's one of the most humble guys I know. He's very wise beyond his years. And at the same time, he's got a heart of gold, and that's how you solve cases. You have to think through, with empathy, with an understanding. He's world traveled. I'll let him tell you about the time he got robbed when he was in Egypt. You didn't hear that from me, but I'll let him share that. And, Michael, I have been, just so grateful that you even took a chance here to create this thing and put it together. So, guys and gals, I'm his Ed McMahon. That's the way we play this here. So, when ask Mike, Sprinkle Cake, thank you so much for becoming a new member here. We're grateful. So we're going to answer some questions, Mike.
Hey, let me just call out the Andy Snapping Crayons, who we have seen before, and thank you so much for the support in the past and now. This is an interesting one because Andy said that there may be a reflection, and gosh, it might be on that shirt. The video may show something that suggests other than that. So we got to look into that. And thank you, Andy. And boy, I'll tell you, if you wouldn't mind, that would be awesome to maybe leave something in the evidence room. And folks, if you didn't get the evidence room web address, we're going to put that back up here for you. But we would encourage you to start putting information in that evidence room where we can look at it and make some decisions on that. Tiger Lily, new member, thank you so much. It's great to have you here. Mimi J2 again, thank you. Allie J, we've seen you before, and Lucy Bell, and man, it's just like again seeing people that we know. I got to tell you, Chris was really complimentary, but today we spent a little time with a serial killer on the phone. He's in prison, of course, and this is a person that we're going to, I think, review in a number of cases in the coming weeks. But it's a serial killer that I worked very hard to keep in prison several years ago. And part of that discussion was the fact that we were in very adversarial roles. But what we found, folks, is that even though criminals are criminals, and they are in cases like we have talked about in the last couple of days, some are evil and some are pure evil, they're still human beings. And we found that when you treat them with a measure of dignity and respect, that you get a lot more information. And it was interesting because I held up a painting that this serial killer had sent me 20 years ago when we put him into prison, and we talked about that experience. But Chris, that was the first time you had met him. What did you think today when we jumped on the phone with him?
I think our viewers are going to be and our family here. We're going to put a serial killer on the couch for you. We're going to bring him in the living room. And I think guys and gals, I mean, this is the real deal. The guy's doing how many years, Mike? 300?
Yeah, 334.
Yeah, 334 years. And he, Mike's known him for a long time. Today I met him. And I gotta be honest with you. I don't want to ruin it for our family, but let's get the grill out. Let's get some hot dogs and hamburgers going here because we got the real deal, and let's see what happens. I think you guys are going to be surprised. Jessica Thompson, welcome to our house, our
Thank
family.
You, Jessica. And I might just add, folks, when we bring these people on, it's not to aggrandize them or make them out to be something special. These are predators, but what we've done through having relationships that were based on respect, that doesn't mean we didn't still want to see them in prison the rest of their lives. But what we've done is been able to formulate a relationship to the point that we actually have them sharing with us what advice they would give to you to keep from ever falling victim to them. I think you're going to be just blown away when we bring these up, and I think you're going to really enjoy those.
Solid point, Mike.
Away.
Kathleen, thank you so much for coming to our house. Carol, thank you. Monteverde, thank you. It's so great to have you in our house. That's a great point, Mike, that you just raised about, even though, you'll see Mike, I mean, he's had this relationship with this guy a very, very long time, and it's a very comfortable scenario. Okay. So I want to paint that picture for you. That does not mean, okay, either one of us are saying, hey, by the way, let's take you out with the rest of the family. No. Okay. In fact, I'm grateful you're on the other side of this wall here, because there would potentially be a major problem if you weren't. Okay. And so, however, you also have to realize that, he's a human being, and you have to treat him with respect. Not like you and I would talk respect, but respect as a human being, another person. And as a result of that, you go so much further doing that. And I watched, and you'll see it with Mike. You'll see his interview here. I watched him master again today, and why I have always been very impressed and have been honored to be actually sitting in this chair next to Michael. I mean, I can't say enough about him. Let's see what's going on in my computer here.
What does member mean for YouTube? Thank you so much, Lisa Marie. What we did is we just created a member channel where you can join up into 3 levels. You can be a sponsor, an investigator, or a commander. And with those, you get some additional perks. It doesn't change what we're doing tonight, and these kinds of things continue to roll out. But if you look at the top, go ahead, Chris. You got.
It looks like we may have somebody coming in here. Tyler, are we good here? Let's see here. Can you? Yep. All right. So it looks like Lauren.
It's going, folks, but
I think Lauren from Fox 21 in Colorado may be joining us here in a second. Let's see here.
Wonderful. Let's bring her in. We'll just
1 minute. Let's see what we got cooking, guys.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, folks, one of the things, too, that we think really kind of sets us apart is the fact that because we've been in the saddle, we're able to reach out to a lot of people that maybe otherwise we wouldn't, like today, to go into prison and sit down with a serial killer and visit. Great. We have Lauren coming in right now. So let's welcome Lauren Scharf from Fox 21. We can see her hand. I've had that hand held up before. Hi, Lauren. Welcome to the show.
Hi. Thanks for having me. You guys kind of just texted me to see if I could come real quick, and I'm here.
Well, great. Thank you. Up to.
Good. How are you guys?
Good. Tell everyone who you are, Lauren. I think there might be one person on the list that hasn't heard of you and who you are. So tell them a little bit about who you are and this special relationship that we have.
I'm Lauren Scharf. I work for Fox 21 News. I've been covering the Suzanne Morphew case since the beginning, since her disappearance on Mother's Day. She supposedly went missing. She was reported missing after she didn't return from a bike ride on Mother's Day, and investigators with the Chaffee County Sheriff's Office, CBI, and FBI have all been working to solve the case, to figure out what happened to Suzanne. Where is Suzanne? She's still not found right now. So, and it's been almost 3 months. It will be 3 months on Monday.
We talked just a couple of days ago. Has anything new shaken out in the last couple of days that you can share with us?
Yeah, so I learned that investigators have been in Indiana, speaking with some family and friends there. I know that they're kind of asking questions in particular to Suzanne as well as Barry, as far as, what type of people they were, things like that, typical questions, trying to figure out, who this family was. I mean, they lived in Indiana previously before coming to Colorado. I was told that they came to Colorado, Maysville, Colorado, which is close to Salida, and they came in 2018. But before that, they grew up and lived in Indiana. Alexandria, Indiana is what I've been told. So, so I believe investigators were up there kind of poking around, asking questions, trying to learn more about the couple, their family, previous history there, what they did up there, things like that.
Interesting. You're getting a lot of shout outs here too, Lauren, by the way, in the chat. We've got so many people that go ahead.
Well, I was just,
you're more popular than us, and that's what we like to see. This is good. Yay, Lauren, because you got like 1,000 people here. I'm going to try to read them. But go ahead, finish your thought. I didn't mean to be rude. I apologize.
No, you're fine. This week is like, we had a live stream Wednesday about just, it's their anniversary, the 26 years of marriage, just trying to keep her name in people's minds and things like that. And Monday is the 3-month mark as far as her disappearance goes. So I just wanted to come back on here and just keep putting her name out there. And hopefully more tips will come in. And then also I just wanted to talk about briefly when I did a two-part series about, the first part was about who Suzanne was, and then, or who Suzanne is, excuse me, and the second part was about the investigation thus far. And the first part, I was really shocked I tried really hard to get Barry to talk. I tried to get any of her close family, like her side of the family. And I also tried to get any of her close friends to talk. And I was shocked that I could only get a friend from the gym and a few
from the where?
From the gym to talk on camera.
From the gym. Okay.
And then I was shocked that I could only get just statements. One from one of Barry's cousin, and then one from a high school friend, and then one from a person who she was also going through chemo at the same time Suzanne was going through chemo. And I was shocked that I was asking people, I just want to do a story just about who Suzanne is, what type of mother she is, what type of, wife she is, and what type of person she is. And I was shocked, and I was very disappointed that a lot of people didn't come forward. And it's like, why? She has a beautiful family, and from the pictures, I don't, obviously I didn't know her. It seems just like she has just a beautiful family, and she lived from what I've seen from pictures, she lived an amazing life. And I don't understand why her family has not come forward. Her husband has not come forward and just talked about who she is. I just think that's super important to keep her story alive, to help investigators find her and to find out what happened to her. And so I just wanted to come on here real quick just to talk about the difficulty that I had just to talk about Suzanne and to keep this story alive, to keep, trying to get tips for investigators and hopefully bring Suzanne home.
Hey, Lauren, what are the people on the street saying about the lack of information coming out from police or family?
When I went out to Salida and Maysville, a lot of neighbors and surrounding people that I spoke with who live in that area, they were very disappointed and almost kind of afraid to be out and about because they don't know, is there a killer on the loose? Is there an abductor on the loose? Because there aren't answers right now as to what happened to Suzanne, they are worried and concerned as far as, is this case going to go cold? And, to remind people that Sheriff John Speasy has only come forward one time to talk in front of a camera. So we've only gotten press releases, and they're not every day. They're not even every week. It's only like once a month now from I think the last search at that dig site was May 26th. And then there was another second search warrant on July 9th. But since then, there hasn't been weekly press releases with updated info about just tips, even just, hey, we've gotten 700 tips this week, or 700 tips so far. And so a lot of people really, really wish that the law enforcement would come up front, talk to the public or the media, and just talk about, hey, this is on our minds every single day. We are, actively searching. We are, following up on tips, just to give the community a sense of relief that, yes, law enforcement is working. They're working diligently to, find out what happened to Suzanne.
You've got a ton of people here, and guys, forgive me. We can't keep up with everybody, but I just want to let Lauren know what you guys are saying. They absolutely are on your team, and just think you are doing an amazing job at keeping this young lady in the news and in everybody's heart and mind. And Mike and I also have to conclude, or have the same opinion that you really are doing what you have trained to do, and that frustration of why somebody hasn't come forward, or the police or whatever. Okay, rest assured that this channel and the people within this channel, okay, will not let Suzanne Morphew's case go cold. Okay, it will not happen. Okay, and I know I'm just speaking from my heart, because there's enough people that know something, and what we can do is hopefully the family will focus on, they get to that place where they say, you know what, we need other people. We need other people. And if that happens, we're here. Okay.
I know that there's like haters on social media. I mean, I've decided to, get off all of the Suzanne Morphew groups just because it was kind of distracting me from actually getting factual information as far as, following leads and things like that. And so I just totally have gotten off social media and am just following information that I believe is credible, and that I'm going to continue to fight for Suzanne, because I just feel like no one else is, as far as like, the family. I haven't heard from, I would love to hear from Suzanne's actual family and to hear, as far as why they haven't talked publicly. Because like we both have talked about, missing persons cases, usually the family speaks and continues to push to have answers. And so I just wanted to put that out there that, if you guys have information, please feel free to talk, send me information. I'll, of course, if there's anything that I believe is credible or anything, I'll look into, and as always, send it to law enforcement. I just wanted to come on here and.
Hey, Lauren. Yeah, I don't want you to leave though for a second. I want to thank Fleur de B Design, and thank you from calling in from Salt Lake City. I love that town. And Miss Sophia, thank you so much for your contribution. You have been here helping out. One day I'm going to get a picture of you with your face turned around instead of looking at the back of your head. But Lauren, here's something I want to just pitch out. At first as a question, and then I have an assignment for our listeners. You know, when Chris and I started this channel and we were just glumping along with about 1,500 folks, and we had some people who jumped right in and I think encouraged us to continue and kind of gave us the energy we needed to carry forward. But when we actually, Chris reached out to you and said, hey, would you come on? That was pretty risky. What on earth were you thinking when you decided to do that?
Yeah. Some people have said that we're in this together, and I'm like, I actually don't even know where you guys live. I'm doing my own thing here in Colorado.
Check that box off.
I was hesitant on talking to you guys as far as I had to double check with my boss, be like, hey, these law enforcement officers or former law enforcement officers want to chat with me. Do you think this is a good idea? Or, and he was like, oh yeah, you could ask them questions about certain things of the investigation that you find out. And I think that's what's great about this channel is that I learn information and I bounce it back off of you guys and be like, hey, you guys have been through investigations. You guys have gone through, missing persons cases and homicide investigations. And you can tell me certain things that I don't know about as far as that side of this case and the law enforcement side of things. And I, as just a reporter, I'm just trying to relay information that I get. And, so it's a fun atmosphere on this channel. I really like it.
Well, we love having you. So
hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button.
Yeah, please do. We just really appreciate your trust in us. We every time we talk to Lauren, we flip on every hot beaming light we can, trying to get a little info, and she is just solid as a rock. And we would never betray her confidence when she does share some of the things that are happening. But what I'd like to ask all of you to do, if you wouldn't mind, Lauren, first, an assignment for you. If you would send Tyler a link in the text about how people can just weigh in on Fox 21 about what an amazing person you are. And then I'd like all of you to just blow up Fox 21 tonight with your appreciation for them pushing and allowing Lauren to chase after Suzanne Morphew. Because for some reason, this isn't happening. And we don't know why.
Did I put in my boss's email or something?
You put in whatever you want.
Oh, there you go.
No,
Carrie Chandler, thank you so much, too. Just want to acknowledge that, too. Yeah, no, put it in there. That'd be great.
Okay.
Don't put any of our contact info, though. Sure.
Let's make sure that we take care of her. And then, Lauren, I gave you a requested assignment a couple weeks ago, but I've never heard anything back, so I'm going to just repeat it one more time. There's a $200,000+ reward for Suzanne Morphew, this affluent woman, and there's an $8,000 reward for Lauren Brittany DeMolo, a pretty unknown girl living with a little baby that disappeared in Florida and Cape Coral, that nothing's happening on her case. We'd love to be able to talk to the reporter there at Fox handling that. So if you could help us in getting there, we'd love to visit with them, because it is a tragedy that we don't have a way to equate this, and yet maybe it's what solves some things. So you can see on the screen a place to send tips to get to Lauren and be able to communicate with her. Please send her whatever you've got. And if it's something important that needs to go to law enforcement immediately, don't go to Lauren first, go to law enforcement. And then if you're feeling like you want to pass it on to her, that's great. and then we'll put up, Lauren, a way for people to reach out. And will you report back when we talk again how many people actually showed up and said something?
Yeah, I put it in the actual chat. I hope Tyler or you guys saw it. I'm not sure if everyone saw it, but it's just the newsroom email. Do you want me to say it?
Why don't you text it to that text you have for all of us, and Tyler will put it up when you're done here, when you hang up. Okay. But thank you so much for coming on. You are welcome anytime you want to come on. We just thoroughly love having you on there.
Is there anything we haven't asked you that you feel is important to let us know about?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, okay.
Where's your money on World Cup? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
I do want to tell people, I mean, if you have information, even if it's little, you might not think it's that important, but you should still, send it to law enforcement. They might think it's bigger than what you think it is. And then also, if you want to stay off the record with me, feel free to even send me messages. I'll keep your information off the record. And it helps me lead into it helps me, figure out where to go next as far as the investigation goes and where I can get more answers. So please email that, email that address right there, because.
And you have a Twitter account too, right? Do you have a Twitter account?
Yeah, it's just.
Make sure you
Lauren
follow
Scharf
her on
TV.
Twitter too, everybody.
Yeah, that's where I put the most up-to-date information is Twitter. So as soon as I get any leads in this case, I'll throw it on Twitter, and then I do Facebook later. So it's quick.
That's perfect. I love this. I call it celebrity bombing, and thanks for just dropping in and saying hello. And we welcome Tyson and Trisha and Linda and Paula. Any of you that want to just bomb in, just get a hold of us, and we'll slip you in. But Lauren, you have a very special place in our heart. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you in a day or two.
Okay. I don't know about a day or two, but maybe next week.
All right. We'll look forward to your next report. Thank you.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
That is a remarkable woman. Not only is she brilliant, but she is just so enjoyable to visit with.
Yeah. It's sad. I'm reading the comments here. A lot of people are trying to figure out, why the family's not talking at all. And, it's a mystery, guys. We have extended, you saw the emotion in Lauren's heart when she was just even talking about Suzanne. And that's one of the things that I think we miss, as dispatchers, as paramedics, as firefighters, police officers, nurses, doctors, journalists, all of us, we have that piece of us that says, I just want to help. I want to help somebody. And you get to that place where that help becomes so stressful because of frustration. And, you could see that, and you could see it tonight, Mike. Did you?
Yeah. You can feel the emotion when she talks about it. She really is an advocate for her. Yeah,
she is, and she just wants to tell this woman's story. That's it. And guys, Barry. Yeah, Barry, come on. What are we? Monday? She said Monday is the day. Right? The 3-month anniversary coming up on Monday. Okay. Barry, give us a call. We'll talk to you on Monday. Okay. We want to invite you to come to the channel here, to come to the couch, talk to us, and we're going to help. We want to help you find Suzanne. We want to help. Okay. And if you can't come to us, that's okay. Call Lauren. And get some more information out about Suzanne. Get some information. People are hoping that that's the right thing to do, and that you will do that.
Yeah. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah.
And Ledford, I actually remember when you were among that first 100 subscribers. Thank you for your kind words, Tony Airy, Toy Airy. Thank you, Arrow Doe, Inner Peas, Sweetie Pilo. It's great to see you. You pop in a lot. Thank you, Nate. Man, again, you always step up, and it's so appreciated. So here's one that I thought was kind of interesting from Sudu Plessis. Mike and Chris, what type of profile will you create for Lori and Chad? What type of people are they, and what are their what their personalities are according to your criminal profiling? The secret to being really good at criminal profiling is having lots of information, and I think we're still really seeing the pages turning, and we're learning more about these people. But what is clear is that there is some real narcissism going on, and this belief system that they had is terrifying. Today, as we talk to this killer who believed that God wanted him to kill people, we talked about the relationship between those two, and I think it's kind of encouraging us to maybe talk a little bit about that. So, Sue, I hope you'll give us a little time to come up with a theory, because we're still trying to gather a lot of facts. Although when the lights are off and we're just talking after these shows, we do have a lot of opinions that are starting to come out between the team internally. So I hope we can come out with something that helps make sense of this craziness, because really these criminals, even when they're as wacky as some of the things we're reading here, while it doesn't make sense to you and me, it makes perfect sense to them why they're doing things. And that really is the puzzle piece we're trying to put together on some of these cases.
Yeah, we've got two questions, Mike. We've got Bellaterra says, if Suzanne M. was kidnapped, wouldn't that be a reason for Ellie suggesting silence? And the second one is from Manuela Costa Lima. Mike and Chris, when does a case become a cold case, please? So I'll take the first one, Mike, if you want to grab the second one. So Bella, so if Suzanne is kidnapped, wouldn't that be a reason for Ellie to suggest silence? It's a two-edged sword. And the reason it's a two-edged sword is because if you say nothing, okay, then there is a higher probability that the victim will not hear a messaging, and that empowers the perpetrator. Okay, and that can actually put a victim at a higher risk level while under the control of that particular individual, because if they think that there's nothing going on, then they potentially could increase the violence towards that victim. Okay, so if information needs to be put out into the environment, for what we call it, right out into the public forum, then that is typically a very scripted type of messaging, right? And then it's you want to keep pounding on that messaging. Simultaneously, what you say to the family is keep this victim in the public forum. We need to have her in the public, or him in the public forum. And that's why you see, as Mike talked about the Elizabeth Smart case, you constantly had the family out there saying, she's still out there, she's still out there. And there are many, many hundreds of other cases like it. We all know what they are. So I hope that helps you.
That's really a good explanation, Chris. Regarding a cold case, when does it become cold? There's no time limit of when a case is cold. When you run out of leads, it becomes cold, and that probably is the most important ingredient in that whole process. So for Suzanne Morphew, it could be a cold case right now, although I know they got so many leads when it first rolled out. It's really interesting because there are a lot of questions on Morphew, and I think some of you have not had updates that you would like to have. So we would just encourage you to go back to our channel, and you'll see some reports this week on Morphew, some reports last week. This week we did a pretty comprehensive update report, Chris. A week before we did a really nice update, and we also talked about the victim risk continuum, which we're going to put up in a minute, a link to that particular channel video that we put up. So please take a moment and go back and look at those. And Sharon, welcome aboard. It's great to have Sharon Erickson with us. And I did see, Ellie J. Yeah, Ellie J popped up again with a wonderful donation. Why do you think law enforcement's being so silent with Suzanne? And we may have answered that already, but bottom line is we don't know. There could be strategies either way. Maybe they have nothing to share. They haven't learned anything new. I think that's doubtful. Or it could be just a strategy. This sheriff, who has a lot of experience, is clearly showing that he's not one to keep in front of the press. So it's just really hard to know. We just have to keep our fingers crossed that they're working hard.
So we've got David Z here, Mike, makes a comment. And guys, we need some clarity on this because obviously we're sitting here. Says, anybody hear that they're announcing that there's going to be an arrest for the murder of Charles in Arizona? Okay, if that's the case, okay, remember we've been saying, for the last 2 or 3 weeks, bingo card on 100 for, Chandler, Arizona, or, whoever's behind the scenes here. If you haven't had a chance to go look at some of the analysis video that Mike is talking about, take a couple of minutes, go check them out. There's some really interesting things that we've caught. One of the most aha moments, though, you're going to see is Mike caught the layout of the room, but it really changed the dynamics of the placement of where the shell casings are inside of that room based on the shape and the hallways. I think everybody's been thinking, including myself, when you see that body camera and you look down that hallway, you assume your mind goes to this place that says, oh, that's the hallway. Okay. And you really don't make that right turn or come out of the kitchen and in. So when Mike kind of slowed it down a little bit, and we talk about that as investigators, you compress, you slow down, and you observe. And when he did that, the other night, what happened, Mike? Did I fall over or what?
Oh yeah, it was fun. That's saying, yeah, we had a really interesting moment, and so we grabbed the nicest pictures that we could find. I think we went to one of the online realty companies and grabbed an image and brought that in, and then started doing some SketchUp on the image, and it really made the whole thing change. And what really got interesting is it allowed us to start to vicariously step into Alex's shoes as he fired shot 1, 2, moving the whole time, 3 and 4. And we started to see motion based on crime scene evidence, which was kind of interesting. So go back, look at it, see what you think, and let us know what you think. Wouldn't that be cool if they did announce an arrest? And Dralatina, thank you so much. Is it too late to bring charges? Absolutely not. No. This is amazing, and we cannot thank you enough. You have been so good to us in the last 5 weeks. But I will ask this question to you, Chris. If a charge is filed in the Charles Vallow homicide, the shooter's dead.
Yeah. But Lori's got a problem.
Yeah. There's something suspicious going on there, isn't there? And if you remember, folks, take it back about a week and a half ago, we said JJ and Ty Lee are act 1 in this play. I think we're going to see an act roll out in Gilbert or in Chandler. I think we're going to see an act roll out in Utah with Tammy Daybell's death. And we'll just have to wait and see. What do you guys think about that, by the way? I'd like to know what you think.
Great questions. Great questions coming up, guys. And I mean, think about it, right? As Ricky used to, as Lucy used to say, Ricky, you have some explaining to do. So, okay. So another question is, could we'll kind of stay with the Daybell thing here for a couple of minutes. Some of these other people that have passed away around everybody, right? I mean, I've heard all kinds of things. This Jason Mao, the gentleman who is, a SWAT commander, and he's on top of the mountain shooting people in Afghanistan. Okay, his wife, we're hearing. I don't know all the facts to that yet. Don't know him. Let's see. We've got Tammy. She's demised, but we're also doing a little research. I think we've talked to some doctors. We're kind of flushing out some possibilities there, and we'll keep you guys posted as we get a little bit closer to some potential interviews that we've got coming up with some people who may be able to explain some of the blood clots and some of the things that these autopsy reports are kicking back, or at least the toxic, some of the interesting. Let's see if we can match the viewer ratios. Smash the button. 500 likes to go. What does that mean? What's that mean? Oh, the button on the bottom.
Hey, Wendy Lance, thank you. To answer the question for Wendy and maybe anyone that's wondering, Lori Daybell waived her right to a preliminary hearing today, something that we were anticipating, and she will just move right to a hearing where she will have the opportunity to enter a plea. She can plead guilty still and avoid that trial, or go to trial. And
just press the button.
So that will be interesting. And so thank you. And folks, I want to just say again, thank you for what you have done in the last couple of weeks to share this channel with your friends and encourage them to give us a try. We are so amazed and humbled by the growth that we've seen and the contributions that you've made. It helps us continue to put out quality content. And I think we're seeing it influence the way that we feel too, and the responsibility we feel to make sure that we're delivering really solid content to you. And for those of you that are jumping into the membership pool, we're gonna put some extra things in there. But things like tonight are not going to go away for the folks that are stepping up and being part of this Profiling Evil family. We also announced tonight a new thing called the Evidence Room. And the Evidence Room is a place where you can go and enter information and share case information that you're finding in your web sleuthing efforts. You can find that by going to www.profilingevil.com/evidence room. And perhaps it's on the screen again. You can take advantage of that and start to send your information where we can take better care of that. Someone asked, Chris, if that information is shared anywhere else. No, it is not. The only place that we will share it is we will bundle up, for instance, after a while, everything that we get on Suzanne Morphew or Delphi or DeMolo or any other case that you bring up. And we're going to reach out in behalf of the Profiling Evil family and give it to law enforcement in hopes that they might at least go through it and consider it and evaluate it. And we will not include your names when we package it up and send it to law enforcement. We'll keep it anonymous and hope that it somehow helps solve a case. And you'll know if something you did was also part of what was used to solve a case. I think you'll feel pretty good about that when it happens. What are some of the other questions that are going on, Chris?
Well, we've got a couple of comments, Mike. So we want to thank Michelle. Thank you for joining us here. Snowblower. This is awesome. She says, turn the button blue. I like it. I like it a lot. That's awesome. What a great suggestion. Okay, Tyler, can that happen? Please somebody tell us if that can happen. What else we've got here? Let's see here.
And I just want to call out again, Draw Latina. Thank you so much for for stepping up. And Shannon Burgess Whittle, thank you again. And everybody who has contributed tonight. This really helps us as we try to roll out stuff. I don't know if you've noticed on our videos in the channel, they're not just pictures of Chris and I, which you could get really tired of quickly. These are pictures that are relevant to the kind of case we're looking at. And Circa 3 and Tim and Casey and Tyler are working nonstop behind the scenes to make sure quality content is going out. And I gotta mention, and I don't know if we can do it, but I gotta shout out to something that I never thought I'd be saying, and that's Buddy. There's a Buddy emoji for those that jump into the membership program, and Chris has promised that sometime Buddy's going to make an appearance on the show. Is that tonight, Chris? Or
I'm texting my wife as we speak.
All right, yeah.
See if we can bring him in here.
Yeah, for those of you that have already become Buddy fans, thank you so much. I guess every team, fire departments always have a spotted dog on the truck. If we got to have this busted down looking old dog of Chris's, and it's worth it to me. He is a lot of fun. So it sounds like he's coming in. So while he's getting Buddy on, I'll just ask a couple more questions that have been thrown here. Amanda Smith said, I think they're going to get slapped with murder charges, and the spouses will get slapped with murder charges for the children. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens. And Margaret Lee, we agree. The victims need justice. That's what this is all about. So I guess with no further ado, without music, let's introduce Buddy.
Okay, this is Bud. This is Budjo. Buds, what's up? What's up? Bud, don't be rude. Look over here. Don't be rude. Come on. Okay, so something about a little Jack Russell. If you guys don't know Jack Russell, these guys have so much energy. I was a dog handler. If you up there on the wall of shame, you see I had a dog named Irk. As I mentioned, Irk the Jerk. But Buddy, this guy here is just really running me ragged. I mean, he's got so much energy. But as you can tell, he's got his own Instagram page. It's called Buddy Boy JRT. It's just him. It's no people, no humans allowed. So if you get a chance, you want to follow him. But is that good? All right. Aloha. Get out of here. There he goes.
He says, I've had enough.
Buddy Boy JRT.
Okay. Well, folks, thanks again. Let's grab a couple of questions here, Chris, and maybe while I'm looking for a question or two, you can we talked about what's going to happen Monday with the Robert Ben Rhodes investigation. Why don't you take us to Thursday? Because we had a pretty amazing call today in prep for that.
I'll tell you, Thursday is going to be a very important day for all of us. We're going to we have the lead investigator whose case was cracked by genetic DNA through, the Ancestry.com type of chasing genealogy. And we also have she's very humble, by the way. I mean, did you catch that, Mike, today? I mean, she's just so humble.
Oh yeah. And so we're gonna have a woman named Barbara who actually cracked the Golden State serial killer case. She's going to be on because she also cracked this case. And you are going to be just really amazed with this woman who has taken genealogy to a new level. She is a gifted lawyer who retired and was doing this as kind of a hobby. And all of a sudden, law enforcement figured out the value that could be brought to the table there. And I think you're going to really enjoy that. And we look forward to having both Eric and Barbara Ray Venter on with us. We'll have Sergeant Eric Cavanda from Carlsbad Police Department, and then Barbara. So don't miss it. And then man, saddle up, because on the 20th, when we talk with the Underground Railroad, we're going to be bringing in operators from Thailand.
It's a big deal.
These are people working undercover in child human trafficking, and we're going to have operators from across America, and we're going to just have an open discussion. And we really look forward to being able to talk to them and partner with them on what they're doing. So
AK Sass said, thank you, by the way, AK. So thank you for the work you guys are doing. We are grateful for that kind compliment. We appreciate that. Please consider looking into a cold case in Alaska regarding the disappearance of Aaron Gilbert. So as Mike was mentioning, we just kicked off the evidence room tonight. So make sure you hit the website in the channel description, go over to the evidence room and drop any information you may have about that caper over there, or profilingevil.com/evidence room. Just put all the intel into there, and if it's something we can help out or direct into a different direction, we're going to do that, and that's why it's sitting there. So thank you for bringing that to our attention. What else we got going,
Chris? Well, one thing I'm just hearing from a few folks, if you would get text over Buddy's Instagram account. Let's see if we can get Buddy a little attention on Instagram. He gets a little unhappy when he's not getting the attention that he thinks he deserves.
Okay, so do you want me to say it then? As Buddy Boy JRT?
Oh, there you go. It's done.
Okay. There it is.
Buddy Boy JRT. Oh, there it is.
There it is. Thank you, Ty. Yeah, and so Buddy's Instagram page, or just the backstory here, is he our youngest said, Dad, can I have an Instagram page? I said no. I said, but the dog can. Okay, and he goes, oh well, then I'm just going to build it up. And I said, yeah, okay, good luck with that. And by golly, that dog's got like 1,900 people following him. And I said, he showed me, he goes, hey, so he manages it, but he probably won't follow you. We'll just tell you right up front. Okay. But if you follow him, he's a hoot. He's got some great shots in there of him. And, I think we made an emoji, didn't Ty in the team
we got an emoji for Buddy the dog.
An emoji for Buddy. He's never been an emoji. All right.
Yeah. So thanks. And Chad Isabel or Chris Isabel, Underground Railroad. Again, thank you for calling those guys out, because you're gonna really be touched by this, folks. And this thing, if you would please share with every parent we're going to be exploring internet crimes against children and the influence that Operation Underground Railroad is playing on that. We really want you to make sure that we get as many moms and dads on there as we can, because we as adults are sometimes missing the places that our young people are going to that are exposing them to predators out there. Connie Hawker just said, I just spent the day with my knitting group. I was telling them about you and the YouTube channel. We got 7 new members. Man, wow. Go knitting group. Please continue to share. Awesome. And isn't this cool that such a wide range of people are starting to jump into this thing and take advantage of it? We don't care if you knit or crochet or shoot guns on Saturday and you love the NRA. We are just grateful to have you here and have the influence that you're having on us, because it is really impacting Chris and me. And again, it's energizing us to make sure that we're rolling out something that's of value to you. Chris, let's just give them a little hint of what might be down a month or so down the road too. Folks, today we spoke with a serial rapist that was good for hundreds of crimes across America and 75 sexual assaults in 11 different states. The purpose of having him come onto this show in a few weeks is so that he can share with you the tactics that he used to get into homes and the things that you can do to minimize the risk that you have as an individual. What stood out about that to you today, Chris?
I think what stood out about it is his capacity to, use his experiences and then just keep improving on those experiences. I mean, I think one of the things that, was very, very telling about, how these guys, tick is, remember where he was telling us about the window, and if you had a wooden dowel in the window, right? Tell our viewers, and thank you, Matt. We appreciate you joining up here, Stephanie, real fast. But share with our family here. And by the way, if you're just joining with us, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell thing so that you get notifications. The team behind us, when things go live, they're going to try to push stuff up. Doesn't mean you're going to see Mike or I. Sometimes that stuff is better without us on it, but we will pick it up later on. I'm teasing, but, please hit that. But long story short is he was able to give us a little tidbit. And Mike, what did he say about the dowel?
We're going to give you just, two little things, and then we're going to leave the rest for when you come and watch that in a few weeks when we do it. But he talked about the fact that he went to Tractor Supply, the local farmer company, and Stephanie Herb. Thanks. It was great to finally get that Russian name figured out. Thanks so much. He would use a magnet to lift the metal dowels out of the windowsill. And he said, then people started getting really smart and they started putting wood dowels in. And he said, all I did at that point was I then figured a way to either get through the glass and shoot a BB into the wood and then use the same magnet to lift that soft metal or wood out of there. Or I would just jimmy through and lift the wood, is what he told me in the past.
And so Mike asked him, he said, so what works? And what did he talk about? He says, if you put that screw, he said, put a screw. If they had that screw, I couldn't get in. All right, so that's the kind of information that's going to come out on this upcoming interview, and we know it's going to help.
Well, Carol Monteverde, thank you so much. We appreciate what you're doing to help us out. And folks, we're gonna keep hanging around and putting together good content. For tonight, we want to say thank you so much for everything you've done to help make this journey really exciting to us. Cheryl, welcome aboard. We're going to just appeal to you one more time. Keep telling your friends and keep helping us build this channel and keep critiquing us because it's helping us to become better. And we want to continue to get better. And as we close, I want to thank my good friend Chris McDonough, who has worked tirelessly through his career to protect victims of crime and to bring predators to justice. My honor in life has been the time I met him and became his friend and got to work serial criminal cases like serial murderers with him. I don't know that I will ever get past what that relationship has meant to me, Chris. So thank you. And Stacy, Deanna, Texas, thank you. Thank you so much for helping us out. Chris, I'm going to leave the final minute or so to you, and then let's say goodnight to all these wonderful people.
Yeah, okay, so real fast, we've got just a couple of comments. Will there be a preliminary hearing for Lori on Monday? No. She waived her hearing. She's going right to Super Court. Stacy DX for Danny Davino, who wants to talk? I'm not quite catching that one, but
Danny Donovan,
who wants to talk? For Danny Donovan, who wants to talk?
Send us something on the evidence room.
Yeah, pick it up. And somebody was having a problem on the evidence room. I saw a little note in here. We'll get on that, and we'll see what's going on there. I just want to make sure we're not missing anybody. Mike, we got Danny Donovan. Yes. Okay, Danny, if you got a question, just hit us up, buddy, or gal. I forgive me if I'm getting you're wrong there. I apologize. Makes a video of your own. Can be true or not. Okay.
Denise M. L. Walker, 1963. Katie Lydia, thank you so much. Betty Smith again. Glenn Kirsty.
Danny Donovan. So somebody's saying he knows information. Yeah, if you have firsthand information, Danny, pick up the phone, call 911, and tell them, hey, I have information about such and such, such and such. You can, by the way, you can remain anonymous. Okay, just get that information in the right people's hands. Okay, but thank you so much, whoever put that messaging in. Forgive us. Again, we're kind of learning how this stuff works, and so thank you. Yeah, call the tip line. King Donahue says call the tip line. We're grateful for that. Yeah, keep it coming. Somebody said, Mike, your chair needs WD-40.
I'm on it. I need to lose weight, and that will help on that squeaking too. But I'm going to work on the oil this week.
Yeah, it was mine the last time, buddy. Remember, he gave me a buck for grease. So I'm just going to hand it back to him. Stacy, thank you. We're grateful. You all guys, we're grateful, and thank you, everybody. So I don't have anything else, Mike. Keep the tips coming. Stay in the vein, crime fighters. Welcome to the family. We hope that you feel very comfortable in our house here over at Profiling Evil. And there are two types, right? There are two types. Yeah, somebody sent a super chat fund for Mike. Exactly, his chair. That's hysterical. There's two types of evil. There's evil, and then there is what? What's the other one, Mike?
Pure evil.
Pure evil. Welcome to Profiling Evil. We appreciate you very much, you guys. Very, very much.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great evening. And for those of you that are just waking up, or those of you in the middle of the night, I hope you get some rest. Thanks a lot.